Good morning, guys. Today I want to show you some seeds that I ordered from a company called Seed of Plenty. I've bought their seeds before and I've had a lot of success in germination. And today I want to show you what I've purchased. So they give you a page which is super tips for better germination, which I haven't read yet, but some seeds need to be soaked, and of course how long the seeds can be stored. So obviously they have a successful germination rate. That's just a sneak peek of everything I bought. There was a sale on when I bought it, so bonus. They also give you this little garden planner to use if you want. So you're tracking your seedlings. Obviously you write down the variety, purchase date. I suppose that's for the expiry of how long they can be stored for. Whether you're planting them indoor, outdoor as seeds, the date you did that, the transplant date when it goes back out into your main garden, whereabouts in your garden, and any notes you want to make. As I said, Seed of Plenty, I'm very happy with their service. They're a local seed place here in Melbourne, and their emails are quite entertaining too. So if you sign up to their newsletter. So let's go through what I ordered. So we all know the normal Black Beauty zucchini that most of us would use. This time, which I have and I've planted and it has grown. This time I wanted to try an Italian one, authentic Italian flavour called the Coco Zell. Gorgeous little stripe pattern through it, and supposedly it's meant to be full of flavour, which is be interesting to try something different than the standard. So on the back, of course, you can see that they have information of the position you should be planting it, in this instance full sun, when you should expect to get a harvest, 50 to 60 days, the depth you should sow, which is in this instance 10 to 20 mil. Germination should happen in 10 days. Seed spacing 90 to 100 centimeters, and then the row spacing, which is 100 centimeters, and the type of watering, which is medium. The rest of the information, which is all generic on all the back of the seed packets, is obviously seed type, variety, the scientific name, the average seeds in the packet. In this instance, there's 10. And then it tells you a little bit of a blurb about this particular zucchini. As it says, this is no ordinary zucchini. Whereas the commercial zucchini, we know so well, tends to be a little bland. Coco Zell has a great flavour all of its own. Since you'll be wanting to eat plenty of the yummy fruits, you'll be happy with the bushy growth habit and prolific fruiting of this variety. It's an Italian heirloom that's stood the test of time. So get creative with Italian cuisine using the authentic zucchini that will soon be among your favourite garden veg. Quite excited about that. When to sow, depending on where you are in Australia. Obviously we're right down here, Victoria. So our temperament is between our temperature is between cool and temperate. So September to November is the best time to plant the seed, to sow the seed, how to sow it, and so forth. And obviously that's where they're located if you are interested in checking out their website. I only buy seeds that are either heirloom or organic. I'm not interested in genetically modified seeds or anything like that. So just a preference of me for my family. So we've got zucchini. We've got this capsicum, but it's the Romanian sweet capsicum, which I haven't tried before as well. So a lot of these are new seeds for me. Excuse me. It says extremely rare and absolutely delicious. So very excited about that one as well. It's obviously one of the sort of long capsicums, I think, like the Europeans sort of used to fry up and eat. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're like a chili size or if they're one of the longer sort of yellow capsicums, but time will tell. I've gotten onions, of course. You know, a staple for what I want to be planting is, you know, onions, garlic, potatoes, the three main staples in my garden. And I've just gotten the normal sort of brown onion, and I've also gotten the red onion as well. Have I grown onion before? No, I have not. So that will be a bit of fun seeing. I think they take a bit of time to harvest, 100 to 120 days. It's not too bad. So red Creole and sweet Spanish yellow are the two types that I've gotten in here. I also have another capsicum, which is a Jimmy Nardello, classic Italian sweet pepper with hot looks. Now, I used to hear this name, Jimmy Nardello, quite a bit from one of my favourite homesteaders in the United States. One of my favourite channels, actually, which I'll let you know. I think they're called More Than Farmers. That's what they are. Love them. Love those guys. And he loves Jimmy Nardello. So when I saw this, I sort of laughed. Thought, well, I've got to try it and see what it's all about. Jimmy Nardello. Not sure if anyone's grown them or tasted them before. I'd love to know what you think. I've gotten more tomatoes for my collection. A lot of the tomato seeds I currently have are finishing. A lot of them were save seeds as well. So the San Marzano I've gotten specifically for making paste, tomato paste, and bottled tomato products, because they're a lot meatier than the normal sort of tomato you cut up for a salad, which has a higher water sort of content. And they're just a standard sort of 80 days harvest. And of course you can see there when you plant them, which is October, December. Next we have celery. Now, this is something that I want to hopefully grow very successful, because I use a lot of celery in juices every morning. Celery juice, look it up, is very, very good for your health, and it's very expensive, organic. You're looking at anywhere from, I don't know, $8 to more for one little bunch of celery when you buy organic. So if I can grow this successfully, so I can have my fresh daily juice from my own garden, that is such a win. So I got the tall Utah variety, never grown it before. Don't know if any of you have got any tips on how to grow celery so it's successful and nice, firm, juicy stems that come with the growth. So that'll be exciting to see how we go. It's got quite a few seeds, 2,000 seeds, but again, let's see the germination and how successful I am. And you grow, you sow them in September, December. Next we have spinach. I got the Giant Noble. Again, spinach is something that I use a lot in our cuisines, for breakfast and for spinach and cheese pies, and you can throw them in your juices and whatnot. Ginormous foliage, but still as tender as you could wish. So that's great. 14 to 20 days to harvest, so that's quite a quick turnaround, which is good. And you sow them in September to April. I haven't grown spinach before, but I have harvested from a community garden that does grow it, and I use it a lot. We now have cabbage, red acre. Compact, colourful and hardy is the description. Again, red cabbage we use in salads and in cooking, in stir fries, and also fermented, making like, you know, sauerkraut and whatnot. So fermented cabbage. I've currently fermented a jar of the white cabbage. Again, the red cabbage is always a bit more expensive than the white. Not sure if it's harder to grow or what the reason is, but being red, you would assume that it has a higher antioxidants count. Anything in the purples and blues normally do. And that is 81 days to harvest. And you sow all year. So that's a bonus. That you're not limited to a season for sowing. Snow peas, everyone's favourite. Yucuma. Again, I haven't sown these before in this, in this variety. So hopefully it's a nice crispy one. 60 to 90 days. And it's January to October. 40 seeds. But yeah, good old snow peas. Now, I've bought raspberry seeds, red European raspberry seeds. I was looking at buying raspberry plants, little sort of seedlings of raspberry plants where you could pick them up on Facebook Marketplace from about $5, for example, for one little plant. And then I thought, I've got some time before it has to go in the ground. Why don't I buy a packet of seeds and create my own little seedlings? You've got, 30 seeds in here, and I'll use what I need and see what germinates, and the rest I could probably try and sell as well. Thought that was a smarter decision. Now, again, haven't grown them before. We'll find out how difficult or how easy they are to grow into seedlings. The harvest is a long time when they're coming from seed. It's 18 months to harvest a raspberry, so that's a year and a half. So we've got about a year before we get on our land. So hopefully 6 months after we might be getting some fruit. So that's not too long a wait. So we sow these in June, August, so over winter. So I'll make sure I diary that so I don't forget that. Germinates in 30 to 90 days. Row spacing 2 meters, seed spacing, well, one are just going to be in little pots. Normally if it's in the ground it's 1 meter. And medium watering. So again, haven't grown before. Any tips to make them successful, please share. Now this was a exciting one. Cape gooseberry, dwarf variety. Easy to grow, they say. I just, you know what, I don't know if it's a tart or a sweet, it tells you here, fruit, but I wanted to grow them because I absolutely love the plant when they have these little lanterns as they grow that encases the fruit, and when it dries it sort of becomes a papery, crispy effect. So I think just for the beauty of the plant it's worth trying out. It says Cape gooseberry will cost you a pretty penny at veggie shops. Never bought them either. But they're ridiculously easy to grow. They even grow wild in your garden if your climate is hot enough. Well, I'm not in the tropics, in the hot areas, so I don't think it'll be happening down here in Victoria. However, big lanky gooseberry berries aren't for everyone. They take up a lot of space and bear fruit unevenly. The dwarf cultivar, this dwarf cultivar solves these problems. Okay, that's good to hear. As for the fruits, they are sweet and tangy as you please. Eat them fresh off the bush or serve them up with ice cream for a yummy summer dessert. Okay, so that tells me that if you pick them a bit earlier, they might be tangier. If you pick them later, they'll be sweeter. So you sow the seeds in spring after the last frost. So it's in November to January. Just firm, what does it say? Just firm in or cover very lightly. Since these seeds need light to germinate, keep moist. Harvesting 120 to 180 days. Germination 10 to 20 days. 100 seeds. Wow. I'll keep you posted when the time comes. And then I've ordered some lavender, of course, fragrant classic garden plant, the English variety. The reason I wanted to start these in pots before we plant them or transplant them onto our land is I'm planning at the end of our driveway. I've got a water fountain that was my mother's, my late mother's, and I use it all the time where I'm currently living. It's just a nostalgia. It reminds me of her. And I wanted to have this at the end of my driveway before you see the home as you're driving up. And I wanted to plant around the sort of, it's like a rectangle framing around the actual water fountain. I wanted to plant the lavender to go all around it. So one, it would look absolutely beautiful and it would have a fantastic scent as you sort of drove up and entered the home. Also, lavender, as you know, can be used for so many other things, for teas, for drawer liners, lots of things. So hopefully it's a nice flowering range and is successful because I haven't grown lavender before. So it says scented English lavender brings joy to gardeners, whether grown as a low hedge, garden shrub or potted specimen. The classic lavender blue blooms are great for fresh or dried flowers arrangements, and a tea made from the flowers is said to relieve headaches. Well, it's got a lot of medicinal properties for lavender. I bought the English variety. There was a few different ones because supposedly it's better in the cooler climate. So again, being in Victoria, we're in the cool sort of area, September, November. So choose a well-drained garden site. Well, I'm going to do them in pots first and then transplant them. What's that say? It's on the yellow, I can't read. 365 days. So it takes a year for harvest. Stay tuned. Then I bought zinnias. Again, stunning plant, inspired by all the homesteaders that I've been watching, especially in, again, the United States, who plant amazing zinnias in their gardens, obviously for their beauty as a cut flower and also as a pollinator. California Giants is the one I chose. It didn't have, I've seen some absolutely stunning varieties on YouTube from the Americans that have the most pastel colours and two-tone and, a thicker petal. Again, the Place Seeds of Plenty only had, I think, this and maybe another one. So I'll look for those other ones if I'm successful in growing these. But the other colours were stunning that one of the homesteaders I watched, more in the pastel sort of colour palette. So these, 60 to 80 days to flower. Not too bad. 6 to 21 days to germinate. We sow them in September to December. What else does it say? Stunning blooms. True to its name, heritage variety produces enormous blooms on tall stalking plants. So it'd be nice to add some colour and some, most importantly, pollinators for the bees. And you always get, well, I have always got a little surprise packet of seeds, a complimentary packet, which I think's a really nice touch. And this time I've gotten the Cosmos Sensation mixture, so another flower, which is exciting. Anything that's a surprise and something you haven't paid for is a bonus to add to your garden. So yeah, these ones we sow in September to December. So I'm obviously going to plant some of them while we're at our current property, in pots ready to go into the garden, and a lot of them I'm going to keep and plant straight into the garden at our new property, which is exciting. As I said, these are the new ones. I've got quite a big collection already. Something I will have to go and check of my current collection is the expiry dates for the seed. But I think if you keep them in a cool place, they don't, you know, lose the germination rate. Anyway, we'll see. So I hope you enjoyed my current seed purchase. I'd love to know if you're in Australia, where you buy your organic or heirloom seeds from. I like to support, you know, the smaller businesses where possible. And also if you've had, you know, the success germination rate. Any advice, if you have planted any of these before, it would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the collection, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.